Hello guys, very good afternoon to one and all, and welcome to the sessions on DBMS. And this is day 9 of DBMS, Database Management Systems, and we are being learned a few of DBMS concepts in earlier classes. Yes or no? Yeah, obviously. Alright, so what we have learned in a few days back. So yesterday I have been talking about the different type of constraints, right? So I was been talking about the constraints like a key constraint, I was been talking about domain constraint or referential constraint or relational constraint, all these things we usually, we have discussed in the yesterday session. Yes or no? Yeah, obviously. Alright. So for example, when we are trying to discuss something like a foreign key also, right? So what is this foreign key usually do? The foreign key is a key where you want to make a relation between multiple tables or maybe 2 or maybe 3 or maybe 4. Whenever a particular relation has to be discussed, then we usually come to that. And after that, we have been started about something called algebraic relations, right? Have you remembered? Yeah, that is what we have been talking about in yesterday's session. We have been talking about the relation algebra. Relation algebra is a basic mathematical relations or simple mathematics that can be applied on the different kind of databases, right? So now today we have left a few things yesterday, right? Actually there are a number of things we have like select, union, intersect and all these things, right? I have 6 different topics here. So in which I was done, okay, just look at the screen, you will be able to find 6 different things, right? Select or project, union, such different, a Cartesian product or rename, all the 6 different kind of algebraic formats, right? So hope you understand that what is the meaning of the algebraic relation, right? So now I'm been talking about first select, okay, I was already discussed, now let me just quickly revise that. So how this select statement does works. Now select statement, or I can call it as select. So what is the select gonna do is select is trying to retrieve the information which is presented on your table. When you want to get the return back, then we can suppose to call it as a select statement. So what is the select statement does do? It just do one thing, it trying to whatever the data which is presented already, you have a data which is already there in your database. So it just simple as that, it is trying to retrieve and it will be shown for the end user. Yes, so now let me show you the screen again. So what is actually a select operations do? Okay, just see the screen once again. Were you able to see the screen once? Alright, so see that it selects the tuples that satisfied for the given predicate offer a relation. Means what? It is trying to get the relation from the particular database table. So where the sign, sigma sign stands for the selection predicate and R and S are the relations, right? So how does it is relation is P is propositional logic formula which may use to connect a different operators. These are the operators we usually called like, and, or, and not. And these are the terms may also use a relational operator, something like not equals to, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, or less than or greater than. All this comes under the operator concept. Hope you understand the yesterday session, right? So if you are not being very perfect on the yesterday's part, please I recommended you to guys please look at the previous session ones so that you will find a clear idea of what is an operator concept is. Once the operator concept is clear, then we can go for the examples of today's session is. Okay. So now let me see the screen again. Here you have a subject, nothing but you're trying to get the subject. It's a column name. From which column you're trying to get the column name is called it as books. You have a column name called books. From this books column, you're trying to get the books which is of databases. See that? What is the output of this particular query is? The output of this query will be select the tuples from the books where the subject is a database. Nothing but, for example, let's imagine that it is, for example, I have a table called books. I have a table called books. In that, I have a category called something like databases. I have a name of the books or something called databases. All right. So what I want to do is I have a number of values which is presented in that particular attribute, in which I want to select the people who have a subject only of databases. Means what? For example, I have 100 tuples in my databases, 100 tuples in my table. Imagine that. In the 100 tuples, these 100 tuples are belongs to different subjects. like databases, programming, or UI design, or something, in which I have a 10 records who represents only databases. There are 10 books which represents the databases. Now, in I want to get the 10 books which is represented for the databases, I simply write a select statement which gives the tuples which is from the books table, where the name of the subject of the particular book will be a databases. So that is what output. Let me show you the screen again now. See that output. What is output? It's going to show you select the tuples from the books where your subject is something called it as a database. Alright. So now the second query, I am just giving you one more query here, that is something called database subject. The subject is database and followed by the price is 450, from where you need to get this something called it as books. So how you would basically get this particular part? See that select the tuples from the books, right? Select the tuples from the books where the subject is database and the price is supposed to be a 450. Yes, for example, let me show you one thing. For example, you got out of 100 tuples, you got the 10 tuples which is of a database, first thing. Now, in 10, there are a different price for each and every book, but I want to get the books whose price is only exactly 450, yeah, 460, yeah, 500. Then how to do it? Out of 10, I may get 1 record, I may get 2 records, I may not get anything. Yes or no? Is it clear, right? So, for example, out of this 10 tuples, maybe a tuple consists of price of 300, maybe a price of 700, maybe a price of 1800. Different prices I have in my table, in which I don't have any tuple which price of 450. Then what will happen is you won't get anything. Yes or no? That is a basic thing. For example, let's give you a very best example. You are doing online shopping, right? For example, if you just on the left side of it, it will show you the price range. Yes or no? For example, 199 to 499. If I just select it, if I just check mark that, what will happen is automatically, if the product which is presented between 199 to 499, it will show you the result over there. Alright. So, for example, if there is no product, if there is no price or no product which cost lies between 199 to 499, will you able to get that product now? No, just so that there is, it will just show you error message that no product is available in this region. Same thing. The second statement of this will be the same. Now, let me just show you the screen once again. See that select the tuples from the books where your subject is database and the price is 450. Yes, am I very clear on this? Alright. Now, let me, this is about the selection operation. Now, let me go for a project description or project operation. Right. Please note it down the points which is showing you on your screen now. Once it is clear, then we're going to go for project operation. What is this project operation means? It projects the column or the columns that satisfy by given predicate. Nothing but whatever the given statements you have, I mean whatever the statement which is given by the user, with that it products you either one column or it can be a more than one column. Now, let me show you that where A1 and A2, here A1 and A2 are the attributes of a given relation. Nothing but imagine that A1, A2 of the columns of a relation what? R. Now, very clear. Here duplicate rows are automatically eliminated as the relation is a set. So, nothing but, for example, I will just give you a simple thing for this. Okay, very good example for this. For example, I am giving a subject here. Subject is author, right, and the books. How many attributes here? Subject is one attribute and author is another attribute, and the tuple, or you can call it as the entity, call it as books, in which select and projects the column named called as subject as well as authors from the given relation of books. Very good example I will tell you. For example, as just imagine again your online shopping website like eBay or Flipkart or Amazon or whatever it is. First, you have a price range, select one price. Again you have one more category called, you have a show some categories like t-shirts, trousers, shirts and all these things, right, in which I am selecting one more, nothing but how many columns or how many attributes your projecting right now, you are trying to project two different attributes of the same table. In that time, your project operation comes into the picture. Nothing but instead of giving you one attribute, selection operation is giving you only one attribute, but projection operation not only give you one attribute, sometime it may be a 2, sometime it may be a 4, sometime it may be a 10, depends on the requirement which is given by the user. So that as if I am selecting the price range between 199 to 499 and I am selecting the category as t-shirts, then I can get a sum of the result. Instead of that, instead of t-shirts, I will select it as trousers. Now, as soon as if I select it, I can get some other set of products, right? Yes or no? For example, pretty simple. I can select a product like mobiles, right? So, now if I select a product as iPhone, right? iPhone prices ranges between so and so, nothing but I am giving a range between 10,000 to 20,000. So, that how many products it maybe shows? It shows your product like iPhone 5s or iPhone 5 or whatever it is. But then if I increase that particular price like something like to 20,000 to 30,000, yeah, 40,000, then I can get iPhone 6s, 6s plus or 6s. Yes or no? Nothing but the price range is between that. Nothing but iPhone is one category and price is another category. Between that you are making a projection. The output is depends on those two columns. Yes or no? Now I am changing the category to iPhone to Samsung. Then what will happen is I can get some other set of results which is lies on the category called iPhone. I mean to say category like mobile devices. Am I very clear? In that time automatically your data will be eliminated. Nothing but something is iPhone 5 is repeated for 10 times or 20 times. It just show you 5s and there are 10 products will be there with that particular price. I mean to say I have some around 5s mobile. Alright, I have a 5s mobile which have a quantity of 10 or quantity of 10. Nothing but what it happened here, it is trying to eliminate the duplications of iPhone 5s. Nothing but otherwise it has to show 10 different I mean to say what I can call images over there. Instead of that, it just show you only one image, but internally it have around 10 different quantity, I mean to say products. Yes, that is all about your project operation. Please check it out once again screen. See that it projects the columns that are satisfied for the given predicates. The notation should be a pi notation where A1 and A2, which will be something like A1, A2, A3, A4 or whatever it is, AN, and relation is R. So that A1 and A2 are the attributes names and followed by relation is R. So here the duplicate rows are automatically eliminated first thing, and as a result as you can have one set, only one result set you will get here. So that the example I am giving a simple thing, subject is one column or one attribute, author is another attribute from the given given entity called books. What it happened is select and projects the columns from the given name called subject and author from the relation of our books. Yes, understood everyone? Right, please note it down the points which is displayed on your screen currently, because these are the points which you may or I mean to say when you are attending an interview, they may ask you what is the mean of project operation, or they may ask you what is a selection operation. Alright, is it clear guys? Now let me go to the next operation called a union operation. What is this union operation do is, let me first give you a simple thing. It performs the binary union between two given relations as it defined as union of T, which represents for all the rows, and the notation is R union S, right. So, where R and S are the either database relations or the relation results set. Sometimes temporary tables also will come, nothing but it just give you entire thing. Alright. So, for the union operation to be valid by the following conditions, that must hold R and S must have a same number of attributes first of all, attribute domains must be compatible, and the duplicate tuples has to be automatically deleted or eliminated. Okay, what it mean to say that? Okay, let me give you a simple example here. For example, I do have two different tables. table 1 and as well as table 2. I have two different tables in which I want to apply this union operation. What is the when I can apply this union operation is the first and major important thing you need to remember when you are applying the union operation is both the table compatibility. I mean to say both the tables structure, I can say the structure is supposed to be same, nothing but I do have a 4 columns in table 1 and the same 4 columns supposed to be same in table 2. So then what will happen is as soon as if we apply the union operation between table 1 as well as table 2, right. So there is a chance that table 1 have a same tuples can be repeated in table 2 also. In that time what I need to do is I just want to eliminate the duplication automatically, nothing but as a user you supposed not to perform it. Automatically the computer, the database engine automatically itself has to remove it. That is what the major thing when you have to learn about union operation concept is. Yes, please look at again the screen. Please look the screen once again. You can have R and S must be number of attributes, right. The attributes domains must be compatible, all right. Duplicate tuples are automatically deleted or eliminated, right. So that you can see what is the output of this particular query is author which is of books table and author of articles table. What will happen is the projects the names of the authors who has there written the book or an article or both. I mean to say that it is trying to give you the value which is of same time sometime it just eliminates duplicate and everything, okay. So that is simple thing. I mean to say if you know the mathematical union operation, it is pretty similar to the database operation also, okay. So someone of you good in mathematics, right. So if you it is pretty simple, nothing but whenever you have used a union operation, it is pretty simple for you to have this kind of things, alright. So that is a major operation or major thing which you need to have, you need to have in every aspect of your application, nothing but same mathematics will be applied in your databases. So what will happen is whenever you apply it, it's supposed to be first thing is both the table structure supposed to be same and then the compatibility also same, and the next thing is the table which you are applying, the data which you are applying on both the tables has to eliminate the duplicates automatically so that you can able to find the data pretty simply, alright. That is what is something to say about union operation, alright. That's it about union operation. Please look the screen once again so that you will able to just note it down the points which is displaying on your screen currently. Please note it down all the points which is displaying on for 3 major points you need to display, that is number of attributes, attributes domain and everything. Alright, once it is done, right, so I am just want to talk about the set different operations. What is the set different operation is? The result of different operation is a tuples which represents or which are presented in the relation but not having the second relation, okay. Now let me show you with a pretty simple example with this particular difference operation, alright. For example, I do have a table here, right, I do have a table, this is you can just imagine that this is one table and the other table is also have a relation with this. In this between these two tables, alright, so now let me extend it little more, let me extend this particular table little more, nothing but here I have only 10 or 15 records. Now let me imagine that I do have around 15 records, yes, and here I do have around 100 records, yes, nothing but 15 tuples and 100 tuples in both the tables. So when I am applying a union, what will happen is when I am applying a union between these two tables, what it has to happen? It is trying to eliminate the duplicates of these two tables and the result will be combination of these two tables, table 1 plus table 2. What it happens with a difference operation is, now just see the screen carefully, when you apply this, when you apply the difference operation, for example, in which in which I have a 15 records, right? 10 records which is also presented here also. You have a 10 records presented in table 1 and the same records is also presented in table 2. Once you eliminate this 10 records, how many leftover records in table 1? 5 records, right? I mean to say 5 tuples is left over in table 1. This will be the output of your difference operation, right? The output of this difference operation in the sense what? Out of 100%, 10 records is already repeated in table 2. If I am applying a minus operation, it's just simple as that minus operation. Function 1 minus function 2. What will happen is the rest of the records which is presented from function 1, it is going to return you, right? Same thing in your databases also. Whatever the leftover tuples presented in table 1, that will be your output. Right now what will happen is 15 records in table 1, 100 records in table 2, right? So here I have 100 records. If I am applying 100 minus 10, nothing but 90 records will be applied on the output of minus operation if I am making as a reverse. If I am making that one as a relation as reverse relation, then I can get this particular output is. This is all about, I am trying to talk about this set difference operation. See that the result of set difference operation is tuples always which are presented in one relation but not presented in second relation, right? Nothing but once you remove it, whatever the leftover which comes from the table 1. So finds all the tuples that are presented in it R but not presented in S. Nothing but here notation is R minus S. Now leftover from what? Leftover from S on R only, not from S. If you just make the notation as S minus R, it just show you the results from S now. So that you can see that author of books minus author of articles. Now what if the output is provides the name of authors who have written their books but not there in the articles. Nothing but that's supposed to be not presented in second table. Then only you can able to get the difference operation concept is. Please note it down the points which is displayed on your screen currently. Yes, once it is done, now let me show you the next one, that is something called it as Cartesian product operation. So what it means to say that combines the information of two different results into a single. The result of Cartesian product is also tuples. Guys, please remember, anytime when I am talking about anything related to a database management system, always your result or your return or your data which is on in tuple format. So here also your Cartesian is also which give you Cartesian product is also give you same operation, nothing but Cartesian operation. Now what it mean to say that I am going to show you one of very good example for this also. Cartesian product. Now if you just remember that, right, for example, this is my table 1, this is my table 2, right. In these two tables, what it mean to say that combines the information of two tables and the result itself into one, where the notation is R cross S, where R and S are the relations of both and the output is defined as in this particular format. So what will happen is the result of Anil books cross articles, which shows all the books and the records which is returned by Anil. Alright, now let me show you very simple example for this. Yes, I do have a 15 tuples in table 1. I do have around 45 tuples in table 2, in which a 5 is returned by the person name called Anil, right. Here also a 5 of the record or 5 of the articles which is written by Anil. Now let us imagine that these are the books and these are the articles, right. When I am applying the Cartesian join or Cartesian between these two tables, what will happen is it just return you the value which is presented here, which is also present. Sometime it may be 5, sometime it is maybe 10. Nothing but the person who is returned something like Anil, all the records will be returned and the output is always tuples will be listed out in the tabular format. Now you can just see here, combines the information of two different relations into a single. where R and S of the relations where the output is defined as in this particular format. And simple thing is author, Anil is an author, books cross articles, nothing but this person also returns books, also returns articles. If I am applying the Cartesian product operation, what will happen is a relation which shows all the books or the articles which is written by the person name called Anil is. Okay, sometimes same Anil or sometimes X, sometimes Y, whatever, depends on your request, depends on your input. This Cartesian join combines you both the tables and give you the output as in a single form. I mean to say single, only one particular table will give you the output for you. Alright, hope you understand. Please note it down the points which is displaying on your screen. Alright, now let me show this screen. Right, so you have this combines the information of two tables and pretty simple notation which is displayed here, followed by output is, which is something shows the books and article written by the person name called Anil. Alright, is it clear guys? Alright, now let me go for one more thing, that is something called rename operation. So what is the mean of rename operation is the result of relational algebra, or also call it as relations but without any name. Alright, this one, the rename operation allows us to rename the output relation, that is something called rename operation, that denoted as small Greek letter something called O, R-H-O, that is something called relation as something like symbol like a P. So what will happen is the result expression E saved in the name of X. Here I am writing X as some a third party name. Alright, so it is pretty simple guys, pretty simple to tell you. What is the meaning of rename is? Yes, for example, when you look after a table called employee, yes or no? You have a table called employee, right? In this table of employee, in a table called employee, you have something called salary column, right? You will find a salary column, right? In that salary column, I have a employee 1 salary of 10,000, employee 2 salary of 15,000, employee 3 20,000, employee 4 30,000, all these things. But what is my manager is asked me is, can you just let me know each and every employee of our organization is how much is earning per annum? Then is it any column is presented in your table right now? No, we don't have any table, or we don't have any column called which calculate and give you the output of something call it as annual salary. Yes or no? Yes or no? Correct. In that time your rename operation will be used. This operation will never physically present on your table, but virtually it just give you the output for you whenever it is required. Yes, that is the meaning of. Sometimes this rename operation is also called it as alias names. When we go forward, we can also get that right. So that is something called as alias name, nothing but alias in something called alternate or rename for the which is presented in your databases. Right, just see the screen once again. The result of a relation algebra or also relation without having any name, that doesn't have a name. The rename operation allows us to rename the operation of output. The rename operation denoted by the small Greek letter R-H-O. That is something called this one, where you can just result of expression E will be stored in the name of X. Please note it down the point which is displaying on your screen, because these are the things which will be helpful for you to attending an interviews on DBMS. Am I very clear guys? Alright. So now after this I just want to show you what are the advantages of this relational databases. Okay, I mean to say what are the uses of this relational algebra is. Okay, that is what I am just talking about in the next part. Alright, now let me show you the screen once again. Advantages of relational algebra. Right, so how does this algebra does work? See that first one, that is ease of use, nothing but you can use it, you can make that particular operation very simple, right. So with this particular relational operator, for example, I do want to get a maximum salary of my employee, or for example in an organization there are 100 employees over there, one employee is getting a 10,000, one employee is getting a 10,000 and the other employee is getting a 1 lakh, in which I don't want to go for manually and I won't check it. Now what I'll do is I have a database with me, I'll just write some algebraic databases, algebraic information here, so that what it is just a milliseconds time I can know that who is the maximum salary, who is earning in this particular organization. Nothing but it is pretty simple to use, very simple operators you have to use in this, nothing but less than, greater than, or like, or not, all these things will be used in this. And what is the second advantages of this? That second advantage is something called flexibility. What it means to say a flexibility is that different takes from which information has to be linked and extracted can be exactly manipulated by operations such as project and join it to another information from which it is got desired. I am pretty simple to tell you, instead of that this lengthy story, I will just tell you very simple thing. Flexibility, how much you are writing a query to our database and that how your database is returning. Based on this, you need to make some manipulations, pretty simple manipulation. Like for example, your data is not returning properly and it is not have a proper thing, then I can just use rename operation and then I can put it the column name as annual salary of all employees, right. So for example, I just need to have a selection operation, then I can just say that this is what the selection operation, this is what I required. If selection operation is not fit for your requirement, then go for a project. Then project will what it will give, instead of a single attribute, it will be applied a multiple attributes, so that it would be very easy for you to get that particular values. That is what simple to use, as well as it is very easy, flexibility also. And the next one is a precision, I mean to say time part. Just show me the screen once again here. That is something called precision. What is this precision will do is, with this relational operators and relation calculators, the manipulation of relation between a multiple tables becomes very easy. Sometimes it also give ambiguity. Ambiguity in the sense the where you can get some points of errors which is not perfect. Alright. So 100% it do have a security and 100% it is have a data independence, 100% it can be used as data manipulation language. Right now we are not talking about manipulation language, we are just talking about to get it, right. So in the coming days of time, we also do manipulate, because we have not started anything programmatically or anything, we are not started with a query format. Once you get started with that query format, you will understand very easily. All this theoretical part, maybe it looks bit boring right now. So I am very sure guys, in coming days of time, you will be get a perfect idea how this theoretical part will be used in the implementation part, right. So that is the reason advantages of relational algebra is, first thing is easy to use, very flexibility, data independence, a security, as well as data manipulation language, as well as precision also. Precision is you can just consider as the last one, but you can just remember one out of 6, at least you remember 4, it is enough. Alright, so that is about your algebraic format, right. So do you have any doubt on this algebraic? You can just post your comments or you can just post your things on my applications, right. So now let me go to actually what I just want to talk on the today's session is, alright. So I just want to talk about today is how do you build a logical database management system. From here you're exactly the designing of your database comes into the picture. And before you start with the design, what are the basic precautions you need to follow? Just first I will explain you that, then I will show you one requirements, like I will take an example as something like online shopping or hospital management system or Facebook or Twitter, whatever I will take one of the best example where you can see in general life, right. So from that I will just show you how to design the database, and then I will go to the what are the applications, what are the operations we are doing in the current days. I am just showing you one by one. Alright, so now let me talk about exactly what is the database management system, what is the database and how you design it. Okay. Alright, now let me show you the screen once again. Alright, database is collection of related data, and the data is the collection of facts, figures that can be processed to produce the information. That first day one I was discussing about it, right. So in the day one I was discussed about something called data. Data is something like a fact, right. It is meaningless information. Is it correct? Yes. that is meaningless information. When it will be get useful data, whenever you are being process the data, then it will be used as information. I was given you best example, right? For example, tomorrow there is an exam for you, right? You have read that exam entirely night. Today entire night you have read everything about that subject. But tomorrow morning when it comes to examination point of view, right? So when you are not presenting your skills on the paper, will you able to identify? Will you able to get it? No, pretty simple. You have a data with you, but you are not able to process on the particular moment of time. Nothing but your data which is currently with you is not useful. That is meaningless. Nothing but no one will identify that, right? If for example, if you got failed, then what will happen is nothing but everyone will tell you that you are not read properly. But no one knows that you have a data with you. Yes or no? But the same thing, if I have data with me, if I am process the data on the particular time in a paper, then if I am being a topper of my class, so that everyone will significantly identify me. Nothing but what? The information has been circulated to all of them. That it mean to say that. Nothing but database is collection of data, where the data is something like raw information that is not properly useful, I mean to say meaningful. Then if you process the data, then it will becomes as information. And what is the database management system is? Database management system, alright, stores the data in such a way that it becomes easier to retrieve, manipulate, as well as producing the information in easy ways. Please note it down the points which is displayed on your screen. First, what is mean by database, and second one is database management system. Yes. What is the objective of good relational database design? Very, very important, guys. We have came to the point where actually how these databases are used in your real world. That is right. We have been talking about this since from last few days, right? But actually we are not yet came to the place where how I need to design my database, because I do have a lot of thoughts with me. I want to design a database for Facebook application, or I want to design an application for some other, right? So all these things I have with me objectives. But before doing the things, you need to follow a few very, very important things into the application. You need to consider a few important things. The first one is they're supposed to not to have any redundancy. All right. Redundancy in the sense, what is the meaning of redundancy? Redundancy is something which is not properly, data is not aligned properly. For this, you need to learn about normalization. Normalization is a very, very important topic. You have to remember in a database management system to become a very good database designer, right? That's nothing but in an interview, you have a minimum one question from the normalization. What is the meaning of normalization? How this normalization will be helpful for your designing of a databases. Am I very clear? So that is what I just want to talk about, right? So now let me show you the screen. What are the important things you need to write down? Right. The database supports both required and ad hoc and nothing but unplanned information retrieval. The database must be designed to store the data unnecessarily to support the information requirement defined by the during of design of process, and any possible chances ad hoc queries may process by the users. It is pretty simple retrieving process, simple as that I can say, very simple thing, right? And the second point is data integrity is imposed at the field as possible all the tables and the relation levels. These levels of integrity help to the guarantee of the data and the structure and their values to be valid by accurate. All right. So actually there is lot of things you have to learn about this data integrity, right? So I can say the timer for the day, I guess. All right. So I can continue more right now. So I'm trying to stop the session here itself. All right. So what I'm requesting for one and all is, please try to go for theoretical parts which we are discussed in earlier classes. So that will be helpful for you to go for the next practical sessions. Nothing but whenever I'm talking about something, I'll just revise the theoretical part and I'll just start it. So in that time, you are capable to understand what is the theoretical part is. Yes or no? If you're not in that good, if you're not that good in that place, it would be makes it a bit difficult for you to understand the practical implementation. Yes? Am I very clear, guys? Right. That's it for the day. Thank you so much listening to me and have a great day. And please don't forget to share these videos who needs the something basics of database management system. Please do share with this video to other people, your friends, your family members, wherever it is. Please try to share with this video to all of them. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. By the time, I'm Anil Kumar, the trainer of APSSDC.